Well, President Trump and conservatives have long thought the Dodd-Frank Act has impeded the effectiveness of the financial system, but now Congress has taken the first steps to change that. One America's John Hines has more from Washington.
Republicans in Congress have now taken the first step in repealing the Dodd-Frank Act, which conservatives blame for overregulation of the financial sector and the sluggish economic growth in the economy in recent years.
Well, President Trump said Dodd-Frank is out of control, which I think is the president's way of saying Dodd-Frank is full of unintended consequences that are hurting everyday Americans and hurting our economy. What we want to do is restore choice, bring the kind of capital requirements in that can make sure that we avoid a future financial crisis, but do it in a way that provides flexibility, allows local and community bankers to deliver for everyday consumers, and lowers costs for the person on the other side.
And lowering costs and increasing accessibility to credit for individuals and small businesses is the main objective of repealing Dodd-Frank and replacing it with something called the Financial Choice Act, says Indiana Congressman Luke Messer, a member of the House Financial Services Committee.
What's happened under Dodd-Frank is a loss of access to capital, a one-size-fits-all approach to the financial industry that treats the world's largest banks the same as small community banks. And in the end, that's been bad for consumers. In many ways, consumers have fewer choices today, higher costs today than they did before Dodd-Frank, and we need to try to get government out of the way, at least for those banks that are not a systemic risk to the economy.
Getting government out of the way is a goal not just among Republican members of Congress in the House and Senate, but among many conservative scholars, like John Berlaw of the Competitive Enterprise Institute, which favors repeal of Dodd-Frank.
It is called the Financial Choice Act. It would repeal a lot of Dodd-Frank, including things that make banking more expensive, that make it harder to get a loan, as well as getting rid of laws that make it, dating back from the 1930s, that make it difficult to for small companies to raise money through the internet.
Congressman Messer predicts a House vote on the Choice Act, which would repeal the Dodd-Frank Act, in the next few weeks, and a vote on a subsequent Senate bill coming in the summer months. John Hines, One American News, Washington.